Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's talk show. Now here's your host, Wilmot Mutty Perkins.
Year-old daughter to live with a man believed to be in his 30s. It's reported that the couple handed over their daughter to the man in exchange for land on which to live. Meanwhile, the child has been ordered to remain in a place of safety. The 12-year-old girl, along with her mother, appeared in the Santa Cruz Juvenile Court last Friday. Resident Magistrate Simone Maddox, who presided over the case, ordered that the child remain in the care of the government until she reaches adulthood. Police Superintendent Newton Amos is taking issue with comments that he will be seeking to end the lives of cop killers and persons facilitating such crimes. The controversy arises from a statement that the superintendent made on the weekend. Addressing a function, Superintendent Amos said the days of cop killers and those suspected to be involved were, quote, numbered under the law, end quote. But speaking on Perkins Online on Power 106 this morning, Superintendent Amos said it was ridiculous to think his statement meant that he would be seeking to end the lives of cop killers and their suspected associates. We apologize for that incorrect insert. Superintendent Amos, the tough-talking former commanding officer for the St. Andrews South Police Division, was transferred to the Area 5 Police Headquarters last month. The Hunts Bay Police are investigating the shooting of 4 persons by a gunman at Hagley Park Road in Kingston 11 last night. 28-year-old musician Kevin Williams of Waterford in St. Catherine was reportedly shot dead, while 3 other persons were shot and wounded. Among the 3 was a 28-year-old woman. It's reported that the 4 were in a taxi cab about 8:30 when a man approached the vehicle. He then pulled a gun and allegedly opened fire, hitting the 4. Williams was pronounced dead at hospital, while the woman was admitted in serious condition and 2 men treated and released. Members of the Nurses Association of Jamaica, NAJ, are meeting at this hour to discuss government's failure to implement wage increases for some nurses. NAJ President Edith Allwood-Anderson says many nurses are yet to receive their salary increases that were approved by the government in August last year following a lengthy negotiation process. According to Mrs. Allwood-Anderson, the problem appears to be a misunderstanding of a directive from the Finance Ministry and some regional health authorities which employ the nurses.
I would say that southern regions seem to have fully complied with what is requested of them. The southeast region, up to 70%, they have complied with. We had some issues at university, which still is outstanding. But in the northeast region and the western region, we have the greatest problems among the directors of finance who feel that they should implement the contract another way.
President of the Nurses Association of Jamaica, Edith Allwood-Anderson. Mrs. Allwood-Anderson says the affected nurses are being severely impacted by the delay in processing their salary increase. The nurses are also dissatisfied with the measures the Finance Ministry has outlined for the reclassification of persons within the profession, which is to begin in August. Noted manufacturing executive Ray Hadid has died. A release from the Jamaica Labour Party JLP says Mr. Hadid died this morning after a long illness. Mr. Hadid is considered one of the trailblazers of the country's manufacturing sector and was a long-standing director of the Jamaica Manufacturers Association. He was 86. The JLP has expressed condolence to Mr. Hadid's son Russell, his 2 daughters, and other members of the family. News in the region now. One Caribbean Media Limited, OCM, is to acquire 5 radio stations across the Caribbean. The sale means Caribbean Communication Company Limited, CCCL, and its subsidiaries will own 100% ownership of the shares in Cumulus Media. Cumulus Media is the second largest radio company in the United States and owns and operates 345 radio stations in 67 U.S. media markets. OCM is the parent company of the Trinidad Express newspaper, CCN TV6, and the Barbados Nation newspaper. OCM will also now own 5 FM stations, including Hot 93 in Trinidad and Tobago, The Wave in St. Lucia, Gem FM in St. Kitts Nevis, and 93.9 FM in Antigua, Montserrat. The Grand Bahama Human Rights Association has called for the Bahamas police to investigate allegations regarding the sale of votes ahead of the May 2 general election. The organization wants the police to treat the sale of votes as a criminal act. It has described the situation reported in the daily newspapers as despicable and loathsome. In addition, the association says persons found guilty of taking part in the selling of votes should have their voters' cards confiscated. More than 100 candidates are vying for the 41 seats at stake between the ruling Progressive Liberal Party, PLP, and the Free National Movement, FNM, in next month's election. In the United States, the Coast Guard says it has seized nearly 20 tons of cocaine with a street value of $600 million in the biggest maritime drugs bust in U.S. history. The drugs haul, which was unloaded in California yesterday, was seized in a raid last month off the coast of Central America. Officials say that they intercepted a cargo ship sailing under the Panamanian flag and that the 14-man crew, Panamanians and Mexicans, put up no resistance. The find reportedly followed a tip-off from an intelligence source. And finally, an unidentified gunman has killed, or that should be gunmen, have killed at least 74 people in an apparent attack on an oil field in Ethiopia's remote Ogaden region. Officials report that 9 Chinese oil workers and 65 Ethiopians were killed in the incident early this morning. The attack took place at an oil field in Abole, a small town about 120 kilometers from the state capital. A Chinese oil worker says about 200 gunmen attacked the field. And those were the stories making midday news on Power 106 from the Gleaner Power 106 News Center. Sports is next.
Midday News was brought to you by True Juice. Premium quality juices. Be natural.
Sports, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM, Radio News Center.
Time now for your midday sports report on Power 106 FM from the Gleaner Power 106 News Center. Upal Tharanga departed for 73 as Sri Lanka were reduced to 163 for 4 after 37 overs in the first Cricket World Cup semi-final against New Zealand at Sabina Park. The left-hander with 2 single-figure scores in his last 2 innings shared 54 with Kumar Sangakkara 18 after Sanath Jayasuriya fell for 1 in the 3rd over. James Franklin took the first 2 wickets, leaving Sri Lanka on 69 for 2 after 15 overs. Shane Bond and Daniel Vittori have taken the other wickets. Captain Mahela Jayawardena is not out on 28 and Tilakaratne Dilshan on 1. Scores at sports time, Sri Lanka 174 for 4. The West Indies Cricket Board, WICB, will select the regional squad for the tour to England tomorrow. The selection of a new coach and captain will also be announced. With Captain Brian Lara having retired from international cricket on Sunday, Guyanese batsman Ramnarish Sarwan is tipped to lead the team for the tour of England from May 12 to July 7. The WICB yesterday confirmed reports that its Australian coach Bennett King had also resigned. Still on cricket, Pakistan have officially advertised for a new national cricket coach following the death of Bob Woolmer. The new coach will initially be appointed for 2 years and is expected to start his employment in June. Football now. Costa Rica's 29-member delegation arrived in Jamaica a short while ago for the CONCACAF Group B Under-17 Youth World Cup qualification tournament. The qualifiers will be staged at the National Stadium from April 28 to May 6. The Central Americans will stay in Mandeville, Manchester for 2 days before leaving for Kingston for their first game against Trinidad and Tobago at 5 o'clock on Saturday. Jamaica will also begin their campaign against Canada on that day at 7 o'clock. Trinidad and Tobago will arrive tomorrow, while the USA and Canada are expected on Thursday. The teams will be vying for 3 qualifying spots in the Under-17 World Cup in South Korea from August 18 to September 9. In athletics, the majority of Jamaican high school teams will arrive in Philadelphia this evening for the 113th staging of the Penn Relays Carnival. The relays will start on Thursday morning and will end on Saturday. 24 boys and 11 girls schools from Jamaica are expected to take part in the event. Calabar High and Homewood Technical, who emerged winners at the 2007 Boys and Girls Athletics Championships, will head Jamaica's delegation. The launch of the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics Jamaica will be held tomorrow morning at the Police Officers Club starting at 11 o'clock. The Law Enforcement Torch Run is an international series of relays to raise money to send Special Olympians to the Winter Olympics. The Olympics will be held in Tokyo later this year. And finally, the Jamaica Netball Association leagues continue this afternoon with 6 games at the National Stadium courts. In the Supreme Ventures C League, Ravens will play Police and Jet Setters take on Rollington Town. Walgrovians will face Eden Strikers in the Western Union Division B League. The games will start at 5:45. In the Supreme Ventures Division A League, Speg will take on Hampshire at 6:15, and at 6:45, Walgrovians B face off with Springfield. Police B will take on Molynes United A. And that's your midday sports report on Power 106 from the Gleaner Power 106 News Centre. Weather is next.
The Gleaner Power 106 FM weather at noon is brought to you by Carvis Souvenir Discount Centre and Craft Village, Twin Gates Plaza. Be Jamaican, buy Jamaican, and Carvis Discount Centre, Twin Gates Plaza, Constant Spring Road. So much more for less.
Time now for your midday weather report on Power 106. The National Meteorological Service is reporting that there is a mid to upper level trough across the island. This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with widely scattered showers over northeastern and eastern parishes. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy. In our 3-day outlook, Wednesday and Thursday look for mostly cloudy afternoons with scattered showers mainly over northern and eastern parishes. By Friday, expect partly cloudy skies with isolated showers across the country. And that's your midday weather report from the Gleaner Power 106 News Centre.
The Gleaner Power 106 FM weather at noon was brought to you by Carvis Souvenir Discount Centre and Craft Village, Twin Gates Plaza. Be Jamaican, buy Jamaican. And Carvis Discount Centre, Twin Gates Plaza, Constant Spring Road. So much more for less.
Now to end midday news on Power 106, a reminder of the main stories. Health Ministry reporting that it's costing up to $300 million per year to treat persons injured in motor vehicle crashes. Nurses Association of Jamaica holding crucial meeting to discuss government's failure to implement wage increases for some nurses. Noted manufacturing executive Ray Hadid is dead. From the region, Grand Bahama Human Rights Association calling for the Bahamas police to investigate allegations regarding the sale of votes ahead of the May 2 general election. On the international scene, the United States Coast Guard says it has seized nearly 20 tons of cocaine with a street value of $600 million in the biggest maritime drugs bust in U.S. history. And unidentified gunmen have killed at least 74 people in an attack on an oil field in Ethiopia's remote Ogaden region. In sports, West Indies Cricket Board to select the regional squad for tomorrow's tour to England. That should be for the tour to England tomorrow. And that's midday news, sports and weather on Power 106 FM. Your next newscast will be headline news at 3 o'clock. From the Gleaner Power 106 News Centre, I'm Stacey Ann Smith.
Concerned about our children wasting precious time in school due to free periods caused by no-show of classroom teachers? The Teachers Bank is looking for able, experienced and preferably retired teachers to stop this growing problem of free periods in our nation's schools. Send resumes to the Teachers Bank, P.O. Box 94, Kingston 6, or call 756-0636. That's 756-0636. The Teachers Bank, keeping education in focus.
Nasty, troublesome cough. Give it something you can really feel working. Cavonia. Cough medicine with clout.
Now there's a remedy you can rely on for troublesome cough and blocked, stuffy nose. Cavonia, mentholated cough mixture, nighttime formula, bronchial balsam and throat spray. Blocked, stuffy nose? Give it something you can really feel working. Cavonia! Made in England by Thornton and Ross and distributed by Medimpex Jamaica Limited.
Power 106.
You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online, and we go now directly to our telephones. We've had a couple of long calls, interesting ones, but I'm sure that there are people there on the telephones who have been, wanting to get on to say their piece. So let's go to them. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good
Perkins.
afternoon to you, Mom. How are you?
I am fine. First time on your program.
Happy to have you.
I am a teacher.
Why have you treated me like this? Huh? First time on the program?
Yes, sir.
What have you been waiting? What were you waiting for?
I'm a teacher, so most times I'm in class.
I see what you mean.
I am having a problem, Mr. Perkins. I'm a teacher and an entrepreneur, and
You're what?
I'm a teacher and I'm also a small business owner.
Yes.
I bought a car last year, September, and I got my title and everything from the tax office because there was a discharge of lien from the gentleman who I bought the car.
There was a what?
Discharge of lien from
Yes.
the bank and everything. I got my title, I had my car. One day I was at my home in March and a bailiff came from the bank stating that the person who I bought the car from owes the bank $500,000 and they're seizing my car. I said there's no possible way the bank can seize my car because I have the legitimate papers to claim my car and I didn't do a backdoor deal. I have been to the bank. I have asked to speak to the person who took the car, the receivable manager. I've asked to speak to numerous persons in First Caribbean, New Kingston. Nobody wants to talk to me. And there is a discharge of liens from the bank.
There's a discharge of lien from the bank.
From the bank. And the bank does not want to answer anybody's call. They do not want to return my lawyer's call. They don't want to return my calls. If I go there, I cannot see anyone. And it's from my...
Do they have the car? Did they take the car?
Yes, they did.
They took the car?
They took my car.
Oh. And how long ago was this?
It happened the first week in March. And they haven't responded. They haven't said anything. Every time I go to the bank, the person they said it's in the internal lawyer's hands and nobody wants to get back to me.
So what are your lawyers waiting on? Why don't they take the matter to the court?
My lawyer, they said, since I have been given a title from the tax office is stating that they cannot give me back the old title that was transferred with the lien on it. It's now at the registrar and it's a government private building and nobody's allowed. So my lawyer will have to write letter. My lawyer has written letter to the department and up until now we haven't gotten any response. And it's one dead end to another dead end and nobody has any answers and nobody can tell me anything at the bank.
Boy. So what? The government agency, you're saying, is not cooperating with you?
Yes, they're saying that they first sent me to Constant Spring where I got the title. Then they said the letter has to be sent to the registrar. It's over.
But hold on a minute. How does this title go into the hands of the registrar, you say?
They said as soon as they have transferred titles, the old titles go to the registrar and you have to pull it. It's a private building. Public is not allowed in. You have to get letters to the commissioner registrar and then they will have to pull back the title. But the titles office, tax office, says I'm the only one who has a title for the car. I purchased my car cash. I have papers to prove that it's my car. And they said the bank can't even sell the car because I'm
let me ask you something.
the owner of the car.
Let me ask you something. If you owe money to the bank, or on a car, who keeps the title?
The bank is supposed to keep the title.
That's what I should have thought.
Okay.
So how then would the title have been transferred to you by the registrar of titles office if the bank had the title?
If the bank, thank you, Mr. Perkins. That is what I'm saying. I said somebody messed up in Twin Gates because there is a title with a discharge of lien and the tax office have it to prove that there's a discharge of lien on the vehicle from the 22nd of August last year.
Yes.
So
then I ask you the question again. What are your lawyers waiting on?
My lawyer is saying that they're trying to get back their hands on the old title so they can file an injunction. They're trying to...
Yes, but it would seem to me that there is implied, right, an old title on the basis of which the Registrar General's Department, not the Registrar of Titles, no?
Yes, sir.
Issued you a title.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And that title must have been discharged by the bank?
Yes, it has.
Hold on just a moment for me.
My mother say, you go pass my exam because me am brain poor. Mother's poor patty make me strong so me can learn at school. But teacher say me chat too much.
The time by Mother's Power Patchy is
12:30.
Bash go, check out them start up your entertainment center. And the new Chester dryer. High quality product. And the best price to find them. Brand name appearance. Cause the whole of them need you. That come from uptown or downtown. Anything for beautify your home. You can buy it too easy on. Bashco, 30 stores all around the Bashco, the store that gives you more. Wide range of
sell world-class brands like no one else does. We get your vehicle fixed like nobody else can. We sell genuine parts like nobody else. Who are we? KIG, the home of Subaru, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Ford. The home of experienced professionals who know your vehicle inside out. World-class brands, genuine parts, and the very best in service. Come to the experts. KIG, we keep you driving.
You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Well, it seems to me, Mum, that that is the way to pursue it. You have to go to court, ask for the injunction,
Yes, sir.
and sue them for the deprivation of your car.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, because it has been it's going into 2 months now, and I've heard nothing from the bank.
Uh-huh.
Even the gentleman I bought the car from, he's a prominent businessman because he works for CVM, and he also does things for another eyewear place in the Springs. And he has been off the island from last year, and I'm saying by right, the bank is the one who is supposed to go, because the gentleman, the manager at the bank was saying to me, I am supposed to go and search for the gentleman.
You're supposed to do
I am supposed to go and search for the gentleman who I bought my car from. I said, no, but I have papers to prove that I have purchased. I'm the only one who has a title in the tax office that my car was purchased. And he was very rude, and as if it doesn't really matter. They get back the car, and that's the bottom line. I said, you get back the car, but you cannot sell the car. And the bank, I said to them, the bank can stand their losses. But as a young girl who is a teacher who works very hard, for them to just come and take my vehicle like that, and it's as if they don't care. I said, that's what the bank is supposed to help people.
Well, I think that you should sue them for damages. Right?
Yes, sir.
But if I would speak to my lawyers about it and ask them, why do they think that they need this title from the tax office or registrar, wherever? Right?
Yes, sir.
The fact that you got a title from them must mean that they were, a new title, that they must have had the old title, right?
Yes, sir.
And seen the discharge on it. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So I would pursue it that way. But I think that something needs to happen quickly because
and I'm not getting through to nobody at the bank.
Yes. Well, I would stop talking to them. Don't worry about them.
Okay.
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 They're wasting time talking to them.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All the best to you. Okay. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
How are you, sir?
Not too bad, thank you.
Now, Mr. Perkins, many people, many of these Jamaicans...
I'm not hearing you very well.
I say many people. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Saying that as if you're a troublemaker.
I'm a troublemaker.
No, what I'm saying, because you stood up fierceless and stood up for the public. And when Mr. Amos make that statement the other night, and I heard it, and you weren't there with me, and I was in my room, and I shiver in my clothes.
Yes.
Nobody was with me, no Perkins was with me there, and was driving me, or so forth. And I said, what kind of statement that? Because when he says under the law, he knew that he make a bad judgment.
That was the impression I had.
Yes, he just come under the law,
yes.
Because he knew that he knew that he had made a bad statement. And I know that when he said under the law, there was a second or two, then he just kind of came up with that.
Yes.
So that wasn't in his statement in
No, it was... No. Under the law was the last thing.
Yes, sir. It was the last thing.
It was when he said, their days are numbered.
Yes, sir. Because that couldn't fit neither. Under the law couldn't fit with that.
And then he altered it.
Yes, sir. He altered it. And Mr. Perkins, I must tell you, I don't know what the crowd come over Jamaica. Because if he in that position, as one of our high lawmen, speak like that, he's encouraged the other police and the younger police who are just coming to the force to start to do these things.
Yes.
And
but you know, sir, if we had a prime minister who told us that the law was not a shackle, if it's not a shackle for the prime minister, then why should it be a shackle for the policeman?
Well, Mr. Perkins, it is said of old that confession is good for the soul, and I believe he make confession there. But he's sorry after, and I believe he must be. If our police force was good, they would have reprimanded him. I think they would have called him to book.
Absolutely.
He should have been called to book.
Absolutely.
And he should have no more job. But if they let him get away, that is to say that is what the police, the highest official, agree.
But hold on, sir. Have you heard anything coming out of the government?
I've heard nothing, sir. Because I tell him, from now on, if I walk now to Mr. Amos, I would hide, I would run, because if he suspects me, and my days are numbered, and I just suspecting me, I tell him, I was a jury many years ago, and I tell you, sir, I don't know what happened to our jury. That's why our land is still like this. Our jury must wake up and listen to statements.
You see, sir, the problem, as I keep pointing out on this program, it doesn't reside in the police force. Right?
Yes, sir.
It spreads to everything else in the country. Right? From bottom to top. And the people who are going and sitting on juries, they're not, well, I don't know. Let me just stop there here, because I may hear the time.
I respect the police to the very ground I walk on, because they have put their life out there. Although they are getting a salary, they have put their life out there to maintain law and order and to protect the country. But when I hear Mr. Amos speak like that, that's a waste of that. I tell Mr. Perkins, I'll put up my hands for them. I'll put my hand up. I'll give up a piece of my land. Because they bring fear upon the nation. And I'm scared to walk, because it encourages the police now to suspect me and wipe me out.
Yes.
Oh, what's a harmful condition. It's very harmful. Mr. Perkins, I want to tell you to keep up the good work, because there are many, it seems like many, if we didn't have you, none of the other hosts, you'd hardly find the other hosts would come up and challenge all these things. You're the only one, mainly, and I thank God for you. And I trust that you may not make any buyout or let anyone send any check to you to bribe you. And I see that you're not the type of man. God bless you, Mr. Perkins. Keep up the good work. Use the people's host. And we thank you. You're not a troublemaker.
All
you're
right,
the people's host, and we thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Have a nice day.
All the best to you. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Hello, yes, morning.
Good afternoon.
I'm mixed up. Good afternoon.
No, it's afternoon.
Ah.
Yes. I am calling from Santa Cruz. One of your supposedly...
I beg your pardon?
I'm calling from Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz?
Right.
Oh, yes,
One of your supposedly...
A place I know well.
Pardon me?
A place I know well.
Right. And it is supposedly one of your favorite towns.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
One of my favorite parts of the world.
Favorite parts of the world. Mr. Perkins, in critically examining the election update and the Bill Johnson's poll...
Keep your voice up for a minute.
I am saying so. In critically examining the election update...
Yes.
And the Bill Johnson's poll... on the possible result in Southwest St. Elizabeth.
Yes.
If an election were called today, I have some reasons to agree with the poll on a number of the reasons given.
Yes.
For the kind of results observed.
Eh?
For the kind of results observed.
Yes.
But But Mr. Perkins, before we look at the specific reasons, let me point out the ignorance of Mr. Buchanan with his usual arrogance to have indicated, Mr. Perkins, that the Prime Minister will visit Southwest in order to shore up support for Mr. Redwood.
Well, you know, sir, Mr. Pattison said that Sister P was not the party's best hope. She was its only hope. Right? People were not going to vote for the PNP because the PNP had accomplished a great deal in 18 years. Right? The party couldn't go to the people on the basis of its achievements.
Right.
Right? It could only go on the basis of the popularity of Sister P.
Of course.
Well, I don't know if...
But I personally believe, Mr. Perkins, that if he had done what was expected of him as the present Member of Parliament, then he would not be the person to be moving. He should be the person to be moving through the constituency to show up support for the contender, Mr.
Yes,
Reverend
well,
Redwood.
to a certain degree that is true. But the power of parliamentarians is pretty limited in this country, right?
I have observed that, Mr. Perkins.
What?
I have observed that.
Yes. Where the power lies is in the hands of the government. They are the ones who raise the funds, who allocate the resources and so on, right?
Yes.
And the way the country has been governed over the last 18 years is not one that has created prosperity in places like Southeast and Central West, or
right.
for that matter anywhere else in the country, right? And what people are feeling there is not the result of Mr. Buchanan per se.
Yes, sir.
Right? It's the result of what the government has done or failed to do.
That's the point.
Yes.
Yes, but Mr. Perkins, I must say that the finding which revealed, I must say, sir, the finding which revealed that Dr. Tufton is visible through the constituency 76% of the time is quite alarming. This is quite alarming, Mr. Gentleman, and this
quite alarming.
Right.
Why is it alarming?
This gentleman seems to be to be a good organizer, and he has actually organized his time very well.
Yes.
I think, Mr. Perkins, that he practices good time management, and this has proven very helpful for him. If this gentleman continues like this, Mr. Perkins, he will bring to the plate new and different ideas of representation.
Hopefully.
And if he continues like this, he will do so. Mr. Perkins, I personally believe that one who has actually been seen visible in a constituency 76% of the time is quite alarming. That is quite alarming.
I don't know why you use the word alarming. But
let me put it this way, sir. It is not surprising, but I would say that he has actually organized his time to the extent that he could spend 76% of his.
Well, he seems to have been spending a fair amount of time down there.
Down in Southwest.
Yes.
And this is good. Mr. Perkins, I believe
Matthew, Southwest St. Elizabeth, sir, is not the worst place in which to be spending a lot of time.
I believe that it's a good place.
Eh?
I believe it's a good place to spend a lot of time.
Yes.
Because you have hotels down there. Right. But Mr. Perkins, I believe that if Mr. Buchanan brings...
Hotels or no hotels? I mean, I wish somebody would pay me to spend some time in Southeast St. Elizabeth.
So, Mr. Perkins, I believe that if Mr. Buchanan brings down into this constituency the complete House of Representatives, along with the cabinet...
Hold on a moment, folks.
Okay.
Employers, remember you have a responsibility to submit your annual returns for 2006. Ensure that you include the correct name, TRN and NIS number of each employee. Submit your NHD annual returns now. The time by the NHD is
12:45. Montego Bay, the grand Crichton Brothers Yard Sale will be Friday to Sunday, April 27 to 29. Come down to Crichton Brothers, Bevan Avenue, for deals and more deals on home, hardware, and building supplies. Crichton Brothers, your building and home center. Our customers are number one.
I remember when I was a printer like you, a old foot used to tell me about Carib cement and how it's the only cement you must use. You know what? He was right.
True word, Mason. But now we have Carib Cement Plus, and that's at the lake.
What you know about Carib Cement Plus, my youth?
Well, first of all, it's fresh, and it's easy to work with, and you can count on the strength. And plus me more durability, more buildability, if you know what I mean.
Sure, printer, you know easy. You just a true word about Carib Cement Plus.
Carib Cement Plus, a commitment to more than just cement.
You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. I was saying that I believe that if Mr. Buchanan brings down into this constituency the complete House of Representatives.
And what?
Bring down the complete House of Representatives.
Yes.
Along with all the cabinet members. It does not make a difference.
Oh, is that so?
Any difference, Mr. Perkins, is to send the PMP further into a hole.
I follow you.
Mr. Perkins, I believe that this government will have to go now. I believe that this government needs to go now, Mr. Perkins. I am not being politically biased. But for the PMP, we have too much of them. Too much of them, Mr. Perkins. And as such, they become very complacent.
Yes.
They become complacent because of the time that they
Are they complacent now?
Pardon me?
Are they complacent?
They might not be complacent now because an election is coming. But before this election, the plan for this election, they were complacent, and as a matter of fact, they're still complacent, Mr. Perkins. I believe that they are still complacent.
Well, I don't know. They must be depending upon the prophecy.
Of Mr. Finn, of Reverend Finn,
yes.
Dr. Finn.
Yes.
It must be the prophet they're depending on. Because if this government ever wins the next general election in this country, this country is doomed. This country is doomed, Mr. Perkins. Can you ever imagine the government using Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller as Trump up to Trump up support at this time, Mr. Perkins?
Well, a government that has been in office for 18 years, sir, should be able to say to the country, this is what we have done, right? And if we go back into office, we intend to take it further, right?
Right.
And we have plans for taking it further. I don't think the government is in a position to, as Mr. Patterson made clear when he spoke at the party conference about Sister P being the party's only hope for the victor. It's a hell of a statement to have been made. I mean, and, you know, I find it very odd that one doesn't hear commentators in the media talking about it, right?
Right.
What else could he have meant? But that the party had achieved nothing
at all
in the 8 years on the basis of which it could come to the people and say, re-elect us.
18 years.
Yes.
18 years.
Right?
You said 8 years. 18 years.
18 years, yes.
Right.
Right?
But and they use, Mr. Perkins, what they are doing, they are using someone whom we recognize as the simplest amongst the contenders for the leadership race for the PMP. and has no track record of outstanding performance as Member of Parliament or Minister of Government.
Yes.
And that is what they are using at somebody who cannot stand up to scrutiny.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, I am sure the world is laughing at Jamaica for having this fool woman as Prime Minister.
A fool? I wouldn't call her a fool woman.
I personally believe, Mr. Perkins, have you really looked at her when she goes on the platform?
Yes.
I mean, beauty is not all, Mr. Perkins. Your what you portray to people generally is what counts. And I regard her as one of the foo-foo women. And the world is looking at us and laughing at us.
You think so?
I think the world is laughing at us. You want to tell me that we don't have a better person than Mrs. Portia Simpson-Miller to be Prime Minister, sir?
Well, I don't know. She's a very attractive-looking lady.
I am hoping,
and she dresses nicely.
What I am hoping, sir, is that Jamaicans will open their eyes and think Jamaica and not party this time around.
I see.
I hope so.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perkins.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Good afternoon, sir.
How you doing?
First time on your line, sir.
Oh, why all you beautiful ladies treating me like?
No, I've been listening to you, Mr. Perkins, all along.
Oh, I see. All right.
Yes, sometimes.
Well, I want to listen to you too.
All right. There's sometimes when I agree with you and sometimes I don't.
Tell me about it. Whenever you don't agree, call me and tell me about it. Right?
Oh, my gosh.
We can put aside what we agree on.
Well, they are trying to talk to you, Mr. Perkins, is the fact you talk, you know?
Huh?
Yes, I am a Jamaican. I'm in my 50s, and I tell you, Mr. Perkins, I've listened to this man not much long, and what he's saying is pretty fine.
Which man?
The one that just come off. I don't know his name, but him just come off the phone.
You agree with him?
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Why?
Mr. Perkins, I wouldn't. You're not feeling it too, Mr. Perkins?
You mean what is going on in the country?
Yes, sir.
Oh, God, yes.
Because we have a great problem right now I'm going to put to you. I'm calling on behalf of the public service. In Constant Spring Garden, Hillary Avenue. You know, Mr. Perkins, we have getting bills all along and paying the bills. And this month here, no bill don't come. As the men come and read the meter Friday, and I say, how we don't get any bill? It's not on the avenue, all on the avenue, Mr. Perkins. I have been calling them from morning at Roupton Road and Knoxford Boulevard from morning. And Mr. Perkins, some of the phone them out service, and he just ringing. Now I sit down here, I'm along with a little old lady, 87, them come and cut off the light. I carry the last bill I show them. Them say them no business because them get them work to do. Now the lady is not here in charge of this place, Mr. Perkins. And I am here with her mother, and somebody pay the bill because when the bill come, she just carry the check and then she write up and she said go pay. Every other bill come except the JPS bill don't come. And it's not we alone. My neighbor call and cut off my neighbor like she don't get no bill. Now I've been called, Mr. Perkins. Where Jamaica going, Mr. Perkins? I feel like I could lick them down with a stone, Mr. Perkins. No, because I know it, you know, I predict it, Mr. Perkins. I tell my neighbor, so then go and come cut it off. And this morning, Tuesday, then come, the two of them come and then cut off the light, leave the place in darkness. Now the lady who in charge, she's in a meet now, she work. She in a meet now, I can't get her. The old lady is here going in the bathroom now, you know, old people. And then me have to wait till who going to pay the connection fee? Who going to pay that connection fee now, Mr. Perkins? When we not get any bill. Then sit down, Mr. Perkins, trying to sell out public service. You see what's happening?
Yes.
And them cannot go in a city, and that's why people have to do that. Because them cannot go in, so then target who in the upper area. Eh? What we must do now? Who going to pay the bill? When the connection fee, what we must do? Then we don't get any bill. All on the avenue, them just come and cut off people like people them going to work when they come in on the same place in darkness. So I don't know. I don't know what. You know, I hear my son say one thing, you know, Mr. Perkins, and he say, listen, mommy, you're going to see people from foreign come in and just come say, me come for you because I not sell out. And that is what happening now. My little son, he's in his early 20s and him predict from a long time. And this is what happening. You have nobody to talk. You ring the phone, nobody not answering. What you must do is that everybody can go on computer and pay and hacks online. So what you must, me just call to make the public know what is happening in Jamaica, and because I have experience in this, but I want to call you from a long time, but this just come up now for me to call you. Mr. Perkins, you're doing a great work.
Okay, ma'am.
You're doing a wonderful work, and we have to look. Let me tell you something. I was a PNP, and let me tell you, me have to change, because me not vote Mr. Perkins.
You're not voting?
No.
Why?
Mr. Perkins, I don't know. Because I hear the man say they're too complacent, and it's truth. They're not. We need a turnover now. Them too complacent, man.
Well, if you think there is a need for a turnover, then you should vote accordingly.
Mr. Perkins.
But vote.
Mr. Perkins.
You're a Jamaican.
Yeah,
you have a responsibility.
Yes, but
we all have that responsibility.
I went out there now. I went out there to look after my thing. And when I went, they started to run me around because I tell them that I was going to be at my home, and I pay my bus fare, go back out there 2 times to go talk with them, and send out the paper. So I not even know my name on the voters list coming down. I don't know. Then tell me all kind of something, so I don't know. I don't know.
Well.
I don't know what. So, Mr. Perkins, who going to pay this bill now when connect?
Well, they're going to demand that you pay it. But you say that they're cutting off flights.
Yes, them coming
throughout your area.
Yes, up my area.
And so I think that if the people in your area come together and bring a class action, when do your bills usually come?
It usually come. The last bill, it was on the 9th of March. It come. Yes, so this one's supposed to come between the 9th.
So 9th of April?
9th of... Yes, between the 9th to the 10th of April. But when I see don't come, I start to get concerned. I say, maybe them go and send it in one, or maybe them late, because somebody is not post it, you know, Mr. Perkins. Somebody walk and drop it in the box.
Yes.
So I'm look every day I go out there and I look at those things. So this morning, from week now, I say, something happened, make it the bill now come, but I have to be calling now. I'm calling up there now because I am here as looking after this lady, and I'm here looking down. Them come this man come cut off like that. Nobody answering. So me tell the man, I don't know.
Yes, well, I don't know.
I feel
it's a pity though that you didn't sort of write to them, you see, because when you call, this is word of mouth, and there's no record of it. Right? When you write to them and say, I haven't got your bill. But maybe also the thing to do is to, well, I don't know, pay the usual amount, but...
Yeah, that is what somebody was saying. But if you just carry the next bill, because the lady was going to take it and carry it in, but we said, all right, it will come this week, and I'm looking for it. Me say, I'm not get by no one.
Yes.
Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to make she carry the bill, no one, because it's not a month, it's check them pay.
But when you have to deal with these people, write to them, yeah?
Oh, jeez.
And keep a copy of the letter.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
All right?
Yes.
Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Afternoon to you.
How are you doing, sir?
Not too bad. How are you?
You keep doing what you're doing. I don't listen to those people, Mr. Perkins. I listened to that gentleman before, and he's saying good things, innocent. And I just want the people of Jamaica to know that this country is in a mess, and we don't know how we are going to get out of this, because the PNP, them are in hot water.
You think so?
Yes, sir. They are troubled.
But the bishop says the pastor, the prophet.
The bishop in a hot water too, you know, sir. He's in a hot water too. He don't know what he's saying. And if God was like man,
Or God would shut it for him.
Mr. Perkins, there one day, you know. You ever realize when you go to the supermarket, Mr. Perkins, that the sugar raised, the flour raised?
Everything.
You remember one time when you could see it in the paper or you hear it on the news that this going raise and that going raise?
Yes, yes.
But that is no more.
No.
No?
Silent raising.
And with Sister P now, sir.
Uh-huh.
You see, if when Sister P did get you in for come in, if she did just run the election and take away she had too much recard man around her.
Yes.
Yes, too much recard man. And she even gets rid of it.
When she immediately she became Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
If she had called the election within a couple of months, I think she would
Mr.
have.
Perkins, a lucky thing she never do it in us.
Well.
But guess what? The 3-card man them would have still in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then what would have happened to it? Mr. Perkins, I will go vote the people that listen.
Uh-huh.
We need a change, Mr. Perkins.
But you realize what all this prophesying is about?
Mr. Perkins, I don't listen to that, you know, sir.
You don't listen to it?
No, sir, I don't want to hear. There's something, olden days things that.
I'll follow you.
Profit, no, they know, you know, sir.
Uh-huh.
A sample, all of them are 3-card, you know. Yeah. Mr. Perkins, you ever watch the Money Man when him at park or him at spin over eyes, sir?
No, I didn't.
You never watch Mr. Davis, sir?
Mr. Who?
Mr. Davis.
Oh, Dr. Davis.
Man, you know?
Oh, yes. I hear you call the Money Man.
Money Man, you know. Mr. Perkins, I know the water is trouble. And Mr. Armishaw, I just want to send this message to Mr. Armishaw. Mr. Armishaw, keep doing what you're doing, sir, because you are opening your eyes.
All right, Mom.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Perkins, you have a good day, sir.
Good. Hello? Hello? Break? Yeah.
Want that fashionable and stylish look? Visit Blazer Place, makers of professionally stitched uniforms of all types, school, heavy-duty, office wear, in a wide range of sizes from 0 to 26. Shop 20 Pavilion Mall, 926-3996. The time by Blazer Place for the best and latest in fashion is
101.
Beautify your place with home and things. Liven up your space with home and things. Tiles, bathrooms, pretty things. That's where we specialize. Home and things. Beautiful accessories to thrill your eyes.
Home and Things, a wonderland of beautiful things for the home at rock bottom prices. So, for a home that really sings,
Home and Things.
Beautiful things, beautiful prices.
Did you know that worn shock absorbers could cause accidents? Replace them now with quality units from Universal Shocks Limited, 58 Red Hills Road. Telephone 925-1000. Universal Shocks Limited, your shock and strut specialist, where everyone gets a discount. You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mutty. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
What? A bit worried, you know, Mutty.
I beg your pardon?
A bit worried after listening to that. I didn't hear that thing with Mr. What's his name? Mr. Amos.
Uh-huh.
But boy, after hearing him, it's either two things. It's either he is naive naive is not the right word, but Mutty, that instructions to tell the police them how to behave when they carry out these operations.
Well,
it's a frightening thing, you know.
I think it's very frightening.
It's very, very, very frightening.
Yes.
For one to come out openly and say it like
and
that.
say something like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, Mutty, I have a friend who is a businessman in Spanish Town. And he is very upset. He's a manufacturer. And he said that after we had the Hurricane Ivan, his electric bills went up, doubled and tripled and all of that. But he says he keeps an exact record of how much currency he uses and everything. And he remembering that Mirand had to pay the state of California some millions of dollars for overcharging.
700 million, no?
Yes. He would like us to get those same set of auditors, those same set of engineers.
The government of California and the government of Jamaica are two quite different entities.
Yes, but he wondered if...
differently modeled. The government of California is about the welfare and well-being of the Californian people. Right?
He has no...
That is not what the government of Jamaica is about.
He has no confidence in this OUR because he believes that OUR is there to protect them. And what he can't understand, if they were selling electricity to these more affluent people than us, right? And they got into bankruptcy doing that, how could they come to a poor, half-starved country like Jamaica and make such substantial profits in such a short time?
But don't you remember, sir, that when the public service company the government wanted to sell it, that they invited tenders. There was a Texan company
Electric, I believe it was,
that won that tender.
Yes.
Right? But instead of awarding them the contract, whatever, the government withdrew it. And entered into a transaction with Mirand. And remember that there was some kind of a relationship between Mirand and Good Works. You remember that?
Yes. Just like the traffic guru, I see.
Absolutely.
Right? But he's wondering if the PSOJ Chamber of Commerce could come on all the businessmen and ordinary consumers to pay for that same set of auditors or whatever it is to come to Jamaica and audit the bills of the Jamaica Public Service Company since Mirand take it over to see if and how much they rip off the Jamaican people. And he wants it to be done before them leave the island, that they can get back some money, because America is the center of capitalist society, right? And business. And if they did that in California to protect the interests of the Californians, why should they just come to these third world countries and rip us off, as so many of us believe, and now leave it with more money than they ever dreamed of when they came here first? Mutty?
Well, I don't know that is so, but that they have more. Well, I don't know. They did.
But they've done very well out of it. Huge profits, Mutty.
Yes.
They made huge profits.
Yes, I think so.
And they didn't put in any whole heap of capital equipment, did they?
That is quite true. They're still operating on the ancient equipment that they bought from the when they acquired the public service company.
Exactly.
Shares.
And look at the capital appreciation they are going to about.
I think they put up one plant.
Yes.
A gas turbine.
And somebody was telling me, a friend of mine was telling me that really the purchase of it was financed out of the utility fees that they charge the Jamaican consumers.
Yes.
So they really did not bring in that amount of foreign currency to the island. Just like with the sale of NCB and the other banks to the Trinidadian banks.
Yes.
If you notice, after 1 or 2 years of operation, they were able to make enough money to pay off for what they bought these businesses for.
Yes.
You know? But he is very concerned. And he says he has a record. And he has been fighting them and trying the OUR, but he's not satisfied. But I think he has a solid ground there, Mutty. And indeed, all of the Jamaican consumers should make me, after all, Sister Peter, she loved the poor. And she loved the manufacturers, and she loved all of us. She should halt this sale immediately, right? And have a proper auditing done of Mirand books, Jamaica Public Service books.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure that we should be unhappy to see the backs of Mirand.
Yeah, but it's justice that if they were overcharging the people, that the people get some relief from that overcharging. But we can't make them just come here and rip it off and get up like that.
But, you know, sir, I wouldn't blame Mirand, you know. Mirand is in the market to get the best that it can for itself.
Yeah.
Right? The government of Jamaica is there to protect the interests of the Jamaican people.
Yeah.
And if the interests of the Jamaican people remain unprotected, it is hardly Mirand's fault.
Mutty, I'm going to give you an example. A friend, our cousin of mine, really, over in Islington there, and they got a bill and they locked off his thing because they said that the meter was working properly. So they just drop a back figure on him, right? But then when we read the back of the bill that they sent you, Clause 3 said that they collect assess to keep the meters, to fix meters and all those things. Secondly, the meters is the property of the public service.
Yes.
And they tell you every day that you must not interfere with it. You understand? So if it is their property and they are getting money to keep it in efficient operation, how can they come and say, boy, you owe us back light bill because the meter was working properly? You cannot go and touch the meter. You can't do anything to it. It is their property. Anyway, he went to them, I helped him and he wrote a letter. He got back credit of $6,000 when they fighting out all this thing to the OUR. But a lot of other people have similar problems, Mutty.
Oh, yes.
You know, a lot of people. And I don't think that they should leave Jamaica like that without answering properly to the consumers here. All right, but
them gone, so them get them 800 million and gone.
But is that only 800 million, you know?
I know.
Look,
it's 300 and something million of debt.
Yeah.
That they're leaving behind.
Yeah. Plus all the profits that they made all over the year.
And yes, indeed. Yeah.
So that means I'm going to get $2 billion, you know. Boy.
But I wonder, you know. I wonder very seriously if Mirand has profited like this from its sojourn in Jamaica. Then why is it in such a hurry to leave?
Well, probably I believe what happened is that the equipment run down so badly. You understand? And the stock value gone up tremendously.
Yes, that is part of it. That must be part of it.
And probably they want to cash in on that.
And they're not anxious to put any capital into it.
No, not putting spending any money on the place.
Well.
Okay, but I just throw it out there for other people to think about it.
Hello?
Yeah. It's on the table for other people to think about it. And our government, that should protect us to think about it.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all the best. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. I'm first time on your program.
Oh, happy to have you.
Yes. I'm calling you from the hills of Clarendon.
Yes. From the hilltop.
Frankfield in Clarendon.
From the hilltop of Clarendon?
Upper Clarendon.
Upper Clarendon.
Yes. I was at a meeting last night, Mr. Perkins. At the Frankfield Primary School.
Would you speak up a bit for me?
Yes, I was at a meeting last night with a minister of government. That's the Community Council of Frankfield meeting, where they had both representatives, the Minister of Works, that's Mr. Azan, and he's up.
Well, he's Junior Minister of Work.
Junior Minister, right. And the JLP caretaker, Michael Stern, was there.
JLP is what?
caretaker, Michael Stern, was in attendance. They were there to speak about this garbage thing that occurred in Frankfield.
I'm not hearing you very clearly.
I said they were talking about this garbage collection in Frankfield.
Oh, garbage collection.
Right. I don't know if you can recall some garbage pileup was in the town at some point in time, a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago. Right. Now, I was very disappointed because as a member of parliament and a junior minister, question was posed to him, which, I mean, he did not respond the way in which I think. He didn't respond the way in which I think an elected representative should have responded. The junior minister was knocking his chest.
Hold on for a moment for me.
Quality, affordable gypsum board, green board, Duroc board, steel stud, and more. Value for your money. Available at All Island Gypsum Distributors Limited. The time for the #1 construction supply store, All Island Gypsum Distributors Limited, 960-7381 is
116.
What a car! What a price! Now you can get a brand new 2007 Mitsubishi Lancer from Motor Sales at the unbelievable price of $1.65 million while stocks last, with CVT transmission, dual airbags, ABS brakes, and 1.6-liter engine, plus many other features. There'll never be a deal like this again. The 2007 Lancer at Motor Sales. Everybody loves the Lancer. Drive yours home today. You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award, on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. Back here. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Are you hearing me better now?
I'm hearing you a little better.
Okay, I'm on a cell phone.
Speak up a little louder for me.
Yes, what I was saying.
Yes, that's fine.
Right, is that I was at this meeting, community council meeting for Frankfield with both political representatives.
Yes.
And a question was posed by somebody from the audience to the member of parliament that why can't Frankfield be clean as
Why can't Frankfield
be kept as clean as Spalding? And the minister said in Spalding the commercial garbages are paid for by the business people. And they picked up residential garbage like every 3 days per week. Now, a lady from the audience said Spalding must be clean because that's where the member of parliament lives. Instead of the member of parliament downplay that from the audience, he got up and he knocked his chest and he said that Frankfield can be kept clean also because of Frankfield people are nasty. And I'm not putting any skip in that town to throw any garbage. You need to keep it in your house.
He's not putting what?
The truck came.
He's not what?
He's not putting any skip. That's the metal container.
Yes, yes.
You put the garbage in.
Yes.
In the town.
Uh-huh.
You will have to keep your garbage inside your house until we pick it up.
Yes.
And we are going to pick up garbage 3 times per week. And he went on to say, I am accused of spending some millions of dollars in my constituency.
Yes.
And see me here, I stand proud. I stand proud. And I'm not ashamed of doing it. And
he's not ashamed of what? Of spending the millions of dollars in his constituency?
Right.
Oh?
Right.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, you know, it went on and on and on and was boasting about things that people accuse him of doing. But what I'm saying, Mr. Perkins, is that I don't think anything wrong with placing something like a skip in that little town.
Yes.
So everybody come put their garbage in there. The sweeper sweep, put the garbage in there. The truck came and pull up that skip, empty it, and we move on. I don't see why he refused to do that.
Well, you know, sir, garbage collection is a problem all over this country. The arrangements are grossly inadequate. Right?
Right. One Mr. Peters was there also. He is in charge of public cleansing for Clarinda. And Mr. Peters was telling us that they picked up garbage 3 times per week. I would agree that the truck came 3 times for the past week. But these trucks continue to pass garbage on the road. I have a small business there. And people tend to put garbage in front of my little business along the way leading to Frankfield. And I stopped this truck on several occasions. And I said, look here, these are garbage. Let's clean them up. One Sunday I even offered to pay some money for a guy to rake it up and throw it to the truck. And the man said, nah, deal with that. You have to put it down there, so. One place to take up garbage when they come out. And even this morning, garbage was there in Frankfield town, right in front of a supermarket there. And they claim that no garbage is stored anywhere in the town.
When you say garbage was in front of, there wasn't a container to hold it?
No.
So how was it put there?
People and the sweeper. They sweep the street, they pile the garbage right in the center of the town.
I beg your pardon? Just a pile of garbage in front of the supermarket?
Right. This morning.
Oh, hell.
It was there. Right at the roundabout in the center of the town. Which I think is wrong. The skip that was there, that was removed, I understand by...
Look here, sir. We have been having this garbage problem and this argument about garbage for how long?
Long.
Has it been getting better or worse?
Well, it seems to be getting worse in our region here.
Getting worse in your region?
Yes, Mr.
Well, what you need to do is to talk to some other people in other parts of the country and find out whether it's getting any better in those areas. Right?
But, Mr. Perkins, it come back, you know, sir. Why are we paying taxes?
Why are we paying taxes?
Yes.
Well, we're paying taxes so that the government can have money to spend and to help to service the debt that it has accumulated.
And to come back and boast about how much you spent.
Yeah, all that, yes.
Well, I'm telling the people of this country, Mr. Perkins.
And how much they owe. And have got to borrow, you know.
Well, I am appealing to the people of this country now, Mr. Perkins. It's time we stop talking about parties
and talk about Jamaica,
our country.
Yes.
Because we cannot keep on talking about parties and garbage piling up at our gate, garbage piling up at our doorways.
That's quite true.
Garbage piling up at our business places, Mr. Perkins.
And if that were all, it wouldn't be too bad.
Right.
Right.
And at the same time, the same
Crime piling up around us.
And at the same
and all
time,
the corpses of the people murdered. Right?
And at the same time last night, the Member of Parliament was announcing that he will be putting together a team to clean garbage from Chowtal straight into Grantham. That is about a 4-mile stretch also.
Yes.
Or 5. And the community council who has been fighting to get this garbage collection done was not invited to participate in that process. Which is ridiculous. All we talk about is when the Member of Parliament was coming to the meeting, he refused to come round by the school. He heard that people are there in party shirts. And at the same time, when he came to meeting and said that, when we look around for party shirts, it was only one gentleman in a tangerine shirt with a cap with his party leader name on it. And Mr. Azan could not say anything. He looked around and shook his head.
Well, he had on his party clothes?
Who?
Mr. Azan?
No.
Oh, I see.
Apparently he said he was going to a conference.
I see.
So he did not want to wear a tangerine shirt come to the community meeting. And at the same time he heard that people are around there in party shirts. And when we look around, it was only one man in a tangerine shirt.
Yes.
And when Mr. Azan spoke, he quickly took off his shirt, leave his marina, and pulled up his cap, put in his back pocket. So, people laughed. Yes, but at the same time, the whole matter of the thing is that we left the meeting without a consensus on where we go forward, because people became irritable, because apparently some people had different agendas at the meeting.
Yes.
They did not come to hear people ask the Member of Parliament any questions. They figure he should just come and make announcement and talk and leave. Nobody should question him. So his people who were behind him became boisterous. And were even cursed in indecent languages inside the meeting.
Indecent language?
Yes.
In the meeting?
Yes.
People were using?
Yes, people who were following behind the Member of Parliament. Were carrying on in such a manner.
Oh, is that so?
So, it's a sad and dark day for politics in Jamaica, Mr. Perkins. That is the type of leadership we have to offer. Well, I don't know where we go from here.
Well, sir, where do we want to go from here?
Well, Mr. Perkins, it left to the electorate. We see what is happening in this country. So each and every one of us, including yourself, need to go out and do the right thing.
All right, sir.
Need change, you ask for the change. Come, you take it. Thank you very much, Mr. Perkins.
All right, thank you very much. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yes?
Good day, Mr. Perkins. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. Man, I've been giving the Lord thanks. I'm very concerned about the nature of calls that comes to your program from time to time. Let me just tell you exactly who I am. I'm the president of a ministry in Jamaica, in New York, in Canada, in London, and Bahamas, and Antigua, respectively, called Beulah Land Ministries International.
What is called?
Beulah Land Ministries International.
Oh, Beulah Land.
Right, Beulah Land Ministries.
Yes.
Our main objective, you see, Mr. Perkins,
yes,
is to allow our young people to realize that life does not revolve around politics. Life does not revolve around emotional stress or strain that they encounter every day. Life revolves around your spiritual relationship with God. And it's one of the things that I always try to tell our young people whenever I go places. I go to schools, devotions, whenever I meet with our church groups, whether in New York or in Canada or London or wherever we go. We try to instill in our young people values and attitudes that will help them become good citizens of whatever country they will live or wherever they go. But it has become a little problematic when we realize that our leaders really don't lead by examples. And more so when we realize that our adults that we encounter with every day does not give our young people enough to walk with. Just by listening to previous callers earlier, they have said some very interesting stuff. And they have made some really disgusting remarks too. Like saying about the Prime Minister of Jamaica that she's a fool woman. And I think as adults, we ought to get to the point where we have respect regardless of who is in leadership. And the thing is...
you think that it would have been better had that person said that the Prime Minister suffered from some serious intellectual deficiencies?
No. I wouldn't appreciate that either.
You would.
No, I would appreciate if the person might have said that the Prime Minister probably does not carry out her job effectively in his eyes. Because we have to be very careful. Our children listen to exactly what we say. They watch how we operate, and guess what happens? When we as adults become disrespectful to our leaders, the children who are coming will follow the same pattern.
Yes, but I tell you something.
Yes.
Our leaders also have an obligation to themselves and to the country to conduct themselves as to command the respect of the people. Don't you think so?
Yes, I certainly think so.
Hold on just a moment for me.
Get the security that comes from the COK Partner Plan. Your money is completely safe and you don't have to pay the banker. Conditions apply. COK for life. COK. Invest in your future today. And the time by COK is?
1:31. At KFC, doing chicken right means we never take shortcuts when it comes to your meals. We stay true to our famous time-tested recipes and cooking methods using only the highest quality ingredients. Carefully selected, carefully prepared, and always served with a warm smile. Whatever it takes to make every customer happy, that's what we do. At KFC, we do chicken right every time.
You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Before we were interrupted, the main idea of Jamaica's progress and success in the eyes of the international market, you see, is not just for adults or Jamaicans to tear down one another or to belittle one another. If you really want to have success in Jamaica, there are two things that we really need to do. And I want people to listen to me carefully. Two very important things. Number one, we have to start praying more. The Bible tells us, Mr. Perkins, that if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and see God's face, and turn from our wicked ways, God will heal our lands. You know the reason why Jamaica is like this? Some people all over the world, are looking at Jamaica and realizing that Jamaica are crying, and every time they come to Jamaica, Jamaica seems to be the same. It's because Jamaicans fail to recognize who is in control. It's not politicians are in control. Oh. The politicians can't do a thing.
Is that
God put people in power and God take them down. And guess what happened?
Could I ask you something?
Yes, sir. Ask me.
If they can't do a thing, why have them there?
No. You see, it's not... Let me tell you something, Mr. Perkins. A lot of people are in power, you see, and they get there for various reasons. They get there for all kinds of reasons, and you can determine who is going to get in power and why.
Why? Who determines it?
Huh?
Who determines it?
God determines it.
God determines it?
God determines that.
Oh? So why is it that God has determined that we should have the quality of leadership that we have in this country?
Okay, let me tell you something. You know what a lot of things happen in our lives helps us to understand?
Yes.
Who is in control? Sometimes God allows you to be hungry. And when you become hungry, you know who it is to feed you and what it really means for God to provide for you. You see, if you have everything at your disposal all the time, drive nice car and a pretty wife and lovely children and in a good job, you don't remember a thing about God. But you see what happened? God allows JPS and these other companies to send you some big bills and run your blood pressure high, and then you realize what it means to trust in God. You'll be surprised that a lot of people don't appreciate who God is.
But look here, sir. It seems to me that you... I tell you something, One of the things that seems to me to happen in religion is that men tend to create God in their own image.
Is that right?
Eh?
Is that right?
Yes.
It's not men create God in us. God creates man.
If I behaved in the way that you were saying,
yes,
that God behaved in, you would tell me I was a horrible man?
No. I want you to understand me and understand me well. I'm simply saying to you that if we have everything at our disposal, if everything works nicely for us all day long, then, Mr. Perkins, the possibility very well exists that you would not recognize how good God is. You would recognize how good God is when He has saved you from predicaments. When you have gone through an accident and God saved your life.
I don't know about that. I mean, if God is in charge and God is doing the thing, and God made things good for me, I would say God is wonderful.
No. Right? Not everybody look at life like that, sir.
But you are telling me that God is a person that is so bound up in his own vanity.
No.
Right?
Because what you say about God, because...
I beg your pardon? But that is what you are telling me?
No. But
that he's prepared to make people suffer in order to ensure that they give him the respect that he thinks he deserves. I don't think God is like that.
God knows the respect he deserves.
Eh?
God knows the respect he deserves. And you know the respect that God deserves. A lot of us, you know what I realize?
But you're telling us that God has given us appalling leadership.
Yes.
Right? To make us miserable in order that we should pay respect to him. You really believe that? You really believe that is God?
Now let me tell you...
Let me ask you something.
Ask me again.
Why has he been so generous to the Americans?
No.
Europeans.
God doesn't exercise his generosity to any nation over any.
What?
God is a God of
Why is it that people can live
mercy?
Hold on just a moment.
Yes.
Why is it that people can live so well in those countries?
Yes.
Right? While
you would be
some
surprised.
of us...
You would be surprised. My ministry operates in New York and in Florida, respectively.
Yes.
And in Canada. And there are so many things that happens in this country that you never hear about. I know you must have heard recently about the Virginia Tech situation.
Yes.
You heard about it.
Yes.
But guess what happens?
God did that.
America. No. Listen to me good. America is one of the nations that takes God and prayer out of the schools. And if you take God out of the school, Satan will take over. I'm simply saying there are two forces that run the world, Mr. Perkins. And if you want to understand how God operates, God gives every man an opportunity to choose for himself. And he tells you, if you choose God, you choose life.
Hold on a minute. God gives every man the opportunity to choose for himself.
Between wrong and right.
But you're telling us that God imposes upon us political leaders of his own choice.
Mr. Perkins, I know I'm speaking to someone who has a level of eloquence and intelligence. And I'm simply saying to you, you don't know about that?
No.
That's my assumption. But I'm simply saying to you, though, that God does not impose himself on any man.
But you're telling me, sir, that God has imposed political leaders upon us.
No.
And
God
it isn't that they're good and
political
competent.
leaders upon us. God allows people to lead. God allows people to lead. Let me tell you something. If God doesn't allow someone to do something, you cannot do it.
Oh, yes?
I'm telling you.
So when man commits murder,
yes,
it is God that allows him to do that.
Sir, when I said to you before, and I say to you again, God gives you an option to choose between wrong and right.
Yes.
When you allow God to dwell inside of you, you will do the right.
Yes.
You don't choose God, then the devil ultimately takes over.
Yes.
When the devil takes over your life, there is no limit to what the devil can drive you to do. And then the extreme opposite. When you allow God to live in you, there are no limits to what you can accomplish by his grace. No limits whatsoever. So people have an opportunity to choose between wrong and right. And unfortunately so, a lot of people have chosen to do the wrong things. A lot of people have chosen to do the abominable things.
Are you saying that God selects our political leaders and imposes them upon us?
God does not select our political leaders, sir.
Who selects them?
We select them.
But Mr. Finn, Bishop Finn,
yes.
Pastor Finn, Prophet Finn, is telling us that God has selected Sister P. And we are hearing from his fellow prophets.
I'm not a political analyst.
No.
I'm a Christian, and I speak of God, and I know how God operates, and I know how He wants me to operate as a Christian.
Do you accept Pastor Finn's view? Or he says that God told him that he had selected Sister P to be our leader.
But if God told him that, sir, I mean, I cannot definitively say that God never told him that. I know what God told me. And God has told me personally to ensure that when I live every day, I live for Him. And if I allow Him to live in me, He will exalt me. That's exactly what He told me.
Yes.
If I humble myself, He will lift me up. That's what He told me.
Yeah.
And He told me every day when I live, I'm supposed to live like a child of God. I don't know what He has told, Pastor. But I am simply
Then let me ask you
to
something.
Yeah, ask me, sir.
God has given to man a brain that is perhaps the most wonderful thing He has created.
Blessings.
Right?
Yes.
And that is all He gave it to you for? To sit down and be His child and to...
No, sir.
He didn't give it to you.
God says...
The Bible says that God created...
Above all things, God wishes for us two things. That we prosper and be in good health. And let me tell you something. One of the greatest things that could ever happen to this nation, Jamaica, is for us to start praying more. Fast and pray. And we need to think positive and pray for our leaders. If you want to pray for them,
but let me ask you
God will change them.
Let me ask you something, sir. God has given man a power of creation. Am I right?
Yes.
And you are saying that what we must do is not exercise that power of creation. What we must do is spend our time praying.
Yes,
and God will do everything that needs to be done.
No, sir. If we pray, God will have his way. Just pray earnestly for what you want and believe.
What about getting up off of your bottom and going out there and doing the things that you want to do?
I mean, you're looking at this thing, on a very narrow note.
Am I?
I mean, yes.
Is that so?
But
if you look at human,
it doesn't mean that you don't do
anything. If you look at human history,
yes,
and look at the accomplishments of man, were they brought about by just sitting down and praying?
No, sir. People pray and they move forward, sir.
Let me ask you another question.
When the children of Israel were up against Pharaoh.
Is it true? Yes. Would it be true to say that the difference between countries like America and Britain and Germany and France and the rest of them, and coming up now China and India and so on, right? Would it be true to say was that the difference between countries like those and countries like Jamaica is that in those countries, people have got up and decided to use the creative powers that God gave them and have accomplished marvels. And here we are sitting down praying and begging God to solve our problems.
Sir, the Bible says, if my people... Are you a child of God, Mr. Perkins?
A child of God?
Yes.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Are you a child of God?
Hold on just a moment for me.
Ocherius and surrounding areas. For Decra roofing tiles, top quality clay tiles and more, call Quality Dealers Roofing Limited, 3 Milford Road, Ocherius, telephone 974-6424. Quality Dealers Roofing, serving you since 1972. The time by Quality Dealers Roofing is
1:45. Carby's Twin Gates Plaza Hot Super Weekend Sale now on. 15% off every item. Don't miss this great chance to save. Carby's Discount Center, Twin Gates Plaza, Constant Spring Road. Call 968-4192. Carby's, put the fun back in shopping.
Honey!
Hold on the phone.
Every night now you're up on cell phone and chat till midnight. Just a chat go. So what's going on?
Baby, calling our friends and family at night with My B Mobile is now free. When I top up My B Mobile with $150 or more any day, Monday to Friday, I get to talk free to My B Mobile and home phone tips 9 p.m. to midnight that same day. And when I top up $150 or more 3 times for the week, I also get free weekend nights.
Okay, free talk time. Well, free's always good enough.
You know, that's what Joe said.
Joe? Who's Joe?
Oops, just kidding.
Top up and get free talk time from B-Mobile. Just be careful how you use it.
Me and my B-Mobile? There's nothing quite like us.
Offer ends April 29th. Conditions apply.
You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Thank you very much. We're back with you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Mr.
Perkins.
Hold on. If you ask me whether I'm a child of God.
Yes, sir. I need to know.
If by that you mean whether I believe that when I'm hungry, all I have to do is kneel down and open my mouth and God will put food in it, right? Then the answer is no.
Of course he can do that.
What?
God can do that.
I'm saying, sir.
Yes.
that if that is what you mean by being a child of God...
No, I never meant that. I never meant that.
My answer is no, I'm not a child of God.
Okay, in what way are you a child of God if he's not able to do that?
Well, it's not that he isn't able to do it, but I wouldn't be asking him to do that.
You wouldn't be asking him to do it?
Right? I think that God is...
Do you believe
I think that God has given me a brain and 2 hands and 2 legs.
Oh, you believe God has given you a brain? Amen. Do you believe in God?
And I believe that He gave them to me to work.
Okay, I'm happy that you believe that God gave you a brain and He allows your brain to work.
But I'm not a Christian. I don't.
Oh, you're not a Christian.
No.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna keep you in my prayers.
Huh?
I'm going to keep you in my prayers.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. I want you to remember as of today that the members of Viewland Ministries International will keep you in our prayers.
Where are you calling from?
I don't hear you.
Where are you calling from now?
I'm in transit. I just came in from Florida.
You're in where?
I'm just coming in. I just came in from Florida.
Oh, I see.
Yes. You know, one of the things I want for you to know before we go though is that I respect what a lot of Jamaicans have been doing in the international scene.
Yes.
We have some tremendous Jamaicans.
Yes.
Because, you know, my ministry does program basically all across the world. And we recognize Jamaicans in New York, in Washington, in Miami, wherever. Everywhere you go, you can see a positive Jamaican. You know, and I would really appreciate if we could start allowing these kind of positive things to reflect back home.
Isn't it our great tragedy that we can't make use of them here?
And we're really making use of them here, you know.
Huh?
We are basically, you know, benefiting from our positive Jamaicans abroad.
Not by any means to the extent that we should have.
Well, the funny thing about it, don't you know, sir? If we are not doing what we ought to be doing back here in Jamaica, because I mean, I'm off the island very often. I'm rarely in Jamaica. But if we could do what we are called upon to do here, believe me, it would make a tremendous difference.
I'm sure.
We need to start, as I said before, if we are doing, we need to increase that. We need to start praying more. As a people, we need to pray and ask God.
I think we need to start. We have a fundamental difference, sir. You think that we need to start praying more. I think that we need to start doing more.
Okay, that is very good. And one other thing too I would like to say before I go is that the media, electronic or otherwise, helps to kill Jamaica most times than helping to build Jamaica.
Oh, is that so?
Yes. Sometimes when I'm abroad and I look in the paper and I see the thing that comes out in our newspaper to the paper, it's a disgrace.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Such as what?
Such as the names of criminal gangs and thugs and others. You know,
so hold on a little bit.
Disgraceful news that comes out of Jamaica.
Hold on a little bit. You think that Jamaica would be better off?
Yes.
If people here, both here and abroad, were kept in ignorance of what goes on.
I never said ignorance.
While it goes on.
I never said ignorance.
Right?
I said the news that sells the paper.
But the media publishing these things for information. So that people are better informed about what is going on around them.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
Why do you think if I'm doing a function and I ask for advertisements to be placed in like a magazine,
yes,
you have people who would go for the front page, the first page, the back page, and probably the second to last page? Why do you think so?
I don't know why.
Okay.
I mean, what are you concerned about? What is your concern?
Those are the pages that people read easily and very quickly.
But
if we have positive information about Jamaica, sir, why don't we put the positive where people read first and put the negative inside?
There is a fundamental dishonesty here, right?
Okay, yeah.
These things are happening in the country. Why should we suppress them?
No. It's not a matter of suppressing, sir.
What? Why should we hide them from ourselves and from other people?
Let me give you a little analogy here. I was in Toronto recently for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. program in January.
Yes.
I was guest singer on the program, right? And the area in which I was staying, close to Jane and Finch, there were about 25 boys get killed there in that area within a geographic location within 3 weeks of my being there. 3 weeks. And guess what happened? I never saw it in the paper. I never saw it in the front page, but it was inside. And you would never hear about that on the news coming on TVJ or CVM. You'd never hear about that.
What had happened to these 3 boys?
They were killed. They were killed in gangs. And most of them were Jamaicans. Jamaicans who apparently left here as kids and were living abroad, and they were part of gangs or groups there, and they got killed. But guess what happened? They have it dealt with by their police and whoever, and they had it on the news, but you'll never have it on the front of the paper all over, and when you go to New York, you see it the first thing and all them kind of stuff. People protect their country in whatever way they can, but they deal with problems differently.
But it was on the news, so people knew about it.
Yeah, people know about it, but they don't handle it the way we do. We sell our negatives in order to make money. And when it turns around and kills our tourists coming to Jamaica, then we complain.
But hold on, sir. If first of all, if these things are happening around us, then we have a right to know about them.
I'm not saying that we don't have a right to know, sir.
Hold on, sir.
I'm simply saying it has to do with how we promote the negatives.
If the media publish them, right, then that is the means by which they are brought to the attention of Jamaica. Now, if we don't like these things, then we must do something about them. Right? And it is rubbish to talk about. Hold on. Hold on a little. Yes. It is rubbish to talk about presenting the negatives. Right?
Yes.
If we don't like those negatives, do something about them. Right? Why does the government sit there and allow these things to happen, not doing anything effectively about them?
Why do we sit there as a people not recognizing the power of prayer? You know, when God puts brain in us, you see, it's not just for us to think about what we're going to eat tomorrow. It's for us to recognize.
If all we need to do is to pray, right? And all these problems will be solved. Then I really don't see what the hell is the point of having a prime minister and paying her $4 million or whatever it is, and having her and her ministers driving all these SUVs and living in grand houses and all this kind of thing. Why? Why are we paying them?
Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
The Prime Minister of Jamaica is not Jamaica's problem. The opposition of Jamaica is not Jamaica's problem. The Minister of Finance is not Jamaica's problem. You know who Jamaica's problem are?
Who?
We think too little ourselves, and we think too negative, and we think the politicians have our answer. The politicians don't have our answer. God has our answer. But guess what happened? There are too many of us who rely on politicians for everything.
You haven't answered my question.
And what is the question?
Right? If all we have to do is kneel down and pray, and everything will be all right, why do we have all these people paying them all this holy money?
You know what would be nice?
And why do we have Dr. Davis there exercising the power and putting us deeper and deeper into debt? You think we should pray that away too?
Sir, I'm simply saying to you, you know what Jamaica's situation being changed could stem from?
What?
Us having a national week of prayer. Earnest prayer. Not prayer that people pray from their lips. People fast and pray and ask God for deliverance. Let me tell you something. God has a way of working, you see, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
When the children of Israel came upon Pharaoh and his army, let me tell you something. There were people who were praying for deliverance because people's blood were being shed. People were dying.
But here, let me ask you something. In which country in the world do people spend their time praying, kneeling down and praying, and begging God to solve their problems and just leaving it there? And the problems are solved, and they live in a prosperous country and have all they need to enjoy a good and fruitful life.
Do you believe in prayer, Mr. Perkins?
I'm asking you, sir. In which country?
I don't have any country like that.
The system that you are offering, in which country in the world does it work?
Sir, Jamaica stands a chance right now. The way
you're not addressing my question.
No. I'm simply saying I don't know of any country like that.
You don't know of any country in which
No. I don't know of any country like that. Probably you know. Do you know of any?
Now, is it possible that is so because it can't work?
No. Let me tell you something. Every country you go, people are in need of God. Everywhere you go, people need prayer. But guess what happened? Jamaica stands a chance right now of becoming the first country, the first island in the Caribbean or anywhere in the world that can be transformed effectively through prayer.
I follow you.
Because guess what happens?
It has never happened before.
Here. No.
But you're advocating as a means
I tell you, Mr. Perkins, what happened in a year can happen in a day.
What?
What doesn't happen in a year can happen in a day.
I follow you.
And I don't underestimate the powers of God. Believe me.
I see.
I really don't. And I can tell you, when we go to places and we go to schools, this coming weekend I'll be addressing some students in Florida. And everywhere I go, young people always ask, what about the crime and the violence in Jamaica? They ask me everywhere I go. But guess what happened?
And you tell them that Jamaicans are praying about it, and in a moment it will be over. It will stop. Right?
I tell them Jamaicans are praying about it, my friend. Jamaicans are praying about it, and there are no tears that goes
they're
without
doing nothing
God
about
noticing.
it, just praying. And everything will shortly be over.
Let me tell you something. God has a way of working, and I can tell you, I don't know if you believe in prayer, but I do. And there are thousands of Jamaicans here who believe in prayer. There are persons around the world who are praying for Jamaica. I don't know if you know when hurricanes ready to hit this place. Would you believe that prayer made a big difference in the hurricane not damaging Jamaica in a more significant way?
Oh, is that so?
I can tell you that. When God's people pray, God hears and answers prayer. And I would really want for all of us around this place to recognize, sir, that God is still in control. And before you leave, I must tell you, you're doing a tremendous job. But guess what?
Think so?
You need, yes, I think so.
But I'm exposing all the horror.
God has placed you in a very strategic point. And let me tell you something, Mr. Perkins. You can't say after today that you don't know. I want to tell you that God loves you.
Oh, yes? I have no doubt of that.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to know that God loves you.
Okay.
And He wants for you to accept Him and appreciate Him for who He is.
But I do.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
I do.
And it's now time for you to
become a child of God. I don't think that He endorses laziness.
I don't endorse what?
Laziness.
Are you lazy?
No, I'm saying that I don't think that God endorses
doesn't endorse laziness because He says
I don't think that God would think that the right thing to do when you're hungry is to kneel down and pray and open your mouth and wait for Him to put food in it.
No, that's not, that wasn't what I was indicating, but I said to you.
It sounded like that to me. All right, sir. Thank you very much. All the best to you.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:01.
I am a promise. I am a possibility, and I just want to be happy.
Let compassion stay in fashion. Teach your children to be kind to everyone. Adults, as a start, do your part. Be responsible.
Treat me well. Play with me. Eat with me. Share with me. That won't give you HIV.
A message brought to you by CariMed and the Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica's 5K Walk, Sunday, May 27, raising funds for children with HIV/AIDS, wellness and care. CariMed and pharmacists walking you there.
Business Online is brought to you by Guardian Asset Management for investors who want more.
afternoon. I'm Orville Johnson from Today's Money Limited. Welcome to Business Online. Jamaica's expenditure on imports during the first month of 2007 was $500 million. This is an increase of $49.3 million over the first month of 2006, while total exports were valued at $155.6 million, climbing by $19.5 million. The trade deficit at the end of January was $344.4 million, increasing by $29.8 million when compared with the same period last year. A new oil refinery is slated to start operating in Cuba as it strives to become an oil exporter. The capital for this operation was from a joint venture company between Venezuela and Cuba. The refinery is expected to meet Cuba's demands and earmark 9,000 barrels of gasoline for export daily. It is also expected that by the end of this year or early next year, the refinery will start processing 65,000 barrels per day. In 2006, Cuba produced about 3.9 million tons of oil. Global oil prices have been volatile today and peaked at over $66 per barrel before settling down at $64.59 per barrel at news time on the New York Mercantile Exchange. This is due to problems in Nigeria. The Jamaican dollar lost 2 cents today against its U.S. dollar counterpart. The dollar peaked as high as $68.05 Jamaican for each U.S. dollar before settling at $67.98 Jamaican for each U.S. dollar in the Cambia market. Market players say there have been some tightness in the supply of foreign currency. The stock market recovered some ground today, with all three indices advancing marginally. The advance to decline ratio was negative, however, as of the 29 stocks that traded, 9 advanced, 12 declined, and 8 traded firm. The market volume today increased with 6.3 million units changing hands. Cable and Wireless was the volume leader, trading 2.6 million units, followed by Berger Paints with 1.5 million units. Then came Mabry Investments. The day's winners were I repeat that. The day's winner was Gleaner Company, up 5% to close at $1.68. Mabry was up 1.8% to close at $2.75. Daring Bunting and Golding was up 1.6% to close at $23. The day's main decliners were Jamaica Livestock Association preference share, down 13.4% to close at $2.50. Berger Paints lost 7.3% to close at $3.15, while Cable and Wireless dipped 2.1% to close at 91 cents. The JC Index squeezed a 46.20 point gain to close trading at 90,615.50 points. Our advice is brought to you today by Guardian Asset Management Jamaica Limited for investors who want more. Yes, we do not leave our financial future to chance, so we plan our monthly income and expenditures. But do we monitor these budgets? Do we match what we plan with what we spend? Do we cut back by turning off lights, water, and talking less on the telephone when these bills are over budget? The more you spend over your budget, the more you are guaranteed financial ruin, and the less money you have to invest. It is important for us to constantly revisit our budgets and ensure that we are managing our expenses. For further information, contact your account executive at Guardian Asset Management at 946-3800 or email them at gam@ghl.com.jm. And that's all the time we have for Business Online today. If you need further information, you can call us at 978-6262 or write to us at Today's Money Limited, 72 Hope Road, Kingston 6. Or you may email us at info@today'smoneylimited.com or log on to our website for more business news at www.today'smoneylimited.com. Join me again for another edition of Business Online, another fine product from Today's Money Limited. I'm Orville Johnson, wishing you a pleasant afternoon.
Business Online was brought to you by Guardian Asset Management for investors who want more.
If you've accumulated or inherited money, received a compensation package, or your fixed income investment has matured, your assets may add up to more than you realize. You should talk with Guardian Asset Management, specializing in money market and stock trading, foreign currency investment and portfolio planning. Their product portfolios and expertise add up to a powerful proposition for you.
Guardian Asset Management.
For investors who want more.
You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you, and we're going to read you some email.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. There have been a lot of requests for a replay of the tape with Senior Superintendent Amos.
Superintendent Amos?
Yes.
People want it replayed?
Oh, yes.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Good day, Mr. Perkins. I was waiting to hear you comment about your friends, the homosexuals, attacking the newspaper building in Montego Bay. I heard on Miss Emily Crook's program this morning, Mr. Lloyd Smith, the editor, saying that how influential they were and rich and had friends right across the whole spectrum of Jamaican society. And they came to his business place and threatened him. And he now has to have extra security. Mr. Perkins, do you still think that homosexuality is something that should be encouraged?
Look here. I have never said or suggested that homosexuality is something that should be encouraged. I never said anything like that. I said that if people are homosexuals, they're homosexuals, and I really don't see that it is any part of my business to go out there persecuting them. Now, if a homosexual does something wrong, like going into Mr.
Smith,
Lloyd B. Smith, business place and threatening him because he had some article in his newspaper that had something about homosexual buying panties. That is no different. How is that different from some heterosexual going in there and threatening him for some other reason? Right? It's wrong. The homosexual did something wrong. But a homosexual doing something wrong is no different from a heterosexual doing something wrong. Right? I really don't see that this is a reflection on homosexuality per se. Right?
Dear Mr. Perkins, your argument about what a person does in his or her bedroom is none of our damn business is flawed. So I beg to disagree. You see, Mr. Perkins, when I contract a sexual disease in my bedroom, it becomes the public business. The government will have to find the funds to supply the drugs to cure or treat these diseases, whether old or new. this disease might also affect other people. Thank you.
I don't know that the government does any such thing. I think there's a great deal of talk about supplying drugs, but I don't know. It doesn't have to happen that. In any event, they're going to be supplying them out of the taxes that those people themselves pay. As far as other people contracting the disease is concerned, if people were more careful about their sexual habits, then perhaps the disease wouldn't spread to quite to the extent that it does. So we need to consider that too. The patterns of behavior when little 12 and 13-year-old children are indulging in sexual practice, very often with older men, in breach of the law, right? This is something that ought not to be happening in the country. And people ought to be... There was a time when, people didn't behave like that to quite the extent that they do now. Go ahead.
Lasco Cambio is conveniently located on your way up or on your way down from Halfway Tree. They're opened 8 a.m. daily. Visit Lasco Cambio for fast, reliable service. 29 Red Hills Road and now open in Pepin, 8 Gordontown Road. The time by Lasco Cambio is
2:15.
Ricky want to set up the house with the best from top to floor. But when him open up in wallet and him looking at the money, him sorry he never have more.
Ricky don't matter stop you come to it. We said the best hardware you can get it. When the price is nice and you get advice, the choice could only be
Stewart's Hardware and Home Center, Maypen, Lionel Town and Old Harbour, where the price is right and the customer is always first.
Stewart's Hardware.
You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go back to the email.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, did you hear Mr. Harry Douglas say that it is the Ministry of Local Government that has full control over all the roads in Jamaica? And that people like Mr. Mackenzie...
Didn't. I am not sure that he put it that way. He was talking about roads in the corporate area, I believe.
And that's why he said, and that Mr. Mackenzie has no right to tell him which road to block and which road not to block.
Yes.
When he's ready. Now, Mr. Perkins, I am writing you this from Florida. When we had the last election, there were certain black areas that were blocked off. Roadblock was put up where people could not get out to vote. Did you know about that?
No, I didn't.
Check with your friends in America.
Oh.
Yes.
Where is that? In the United States?
In the United States.
Oh, I see.
In the state of Florida.
Oh.
In the last election.
Oh.
Certain roads in the black areas were blocked off and the people there could not get out to vote. It was mainly a democratic vote. So don't say it cannot happen here.
Well,
in Jamaica when the right time comes.
I don't know that any such question has arisen.
Another thing, Mr. Buchanan, did you see him on TV trying to stumble through what Dr. Davis will say about the sale of Mirant when he speaks in the House at the end of the debate? Clearly, Mr. Buchanan was not too sure of the facts himself. It gave me the impression that not even Dr. Davis was sure of the facts. The thing took them by surprise. Mirand licked them for 6. They're better than Lara.
In addition to what was said earlier, the mayor, I heard the mayor talking about the road problem in the corporate, the matter in relation to roads. I heard the mayor quoting at some length from a legal provision that reassigned the roads to, he gave a lot of specific information, and he read from the provision that reassigned the roads to the corporate area after they had been taken over by the central government in the 1980s, right? I haven't heard Mr. Douglas on the subject, so he obviously does not know that that has happened, or is in no position to say that it didn't happen. Okay, we have had a request for the Amos tapes to be replayed. We're going to replay them for you before the end of the program. But let's go back to our telephones for the moment. Hello? 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 No? Try another one. Hello?
Wilmot?
Hi.
How are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
Listen to me now, man.
And you?
Not bad at all. But you see, the problem is that you have too much patience with these.
I have too much what?
Patience, man.
Yes?
With these people coming talking about God and God and God. These people taking God to all idiots, you know.
Eh?
And if God was real like man, he would have locked up and shut up some of them long time.
Well.
Sir P? Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I'm not hearing you, man.
I'm hearing you.
You hearing me clear?
Yes.
I'm hearing you. Anyway.
You're hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay.
God gave us a brain.
God gave us a brain.
A brain?
Yes.
So
the most wonderful thing in creation.
Pardon me?
I said possibly the most wonderful thing in creation.
Right. I don't think he set us here to sit down and get up at daytime and pray and pray and pray.
And God said he made man, well, according to the Bible says that God made man in his own image.
Yes.
Which suggests to me that he made man with a creative power.
Yes.
Analogous to his own.
God is a working God.
Yes.
And God is, and as such, we as human beings must be working.
Absolutely.
We try to solve our own problems.
Yes.
Because he set us here and we have problems that we must find.
And when you think of the wonderful technologies that man has created.
Pardon me?
I say, when you think of the wonderful technologies that man has created.
Yes.
And you're going to tell me that all that, and the great economies that
so
we have created.
So why you put up with these people?
When you're going to tell me that what man must do is get on his knees when he's hungry.
I said,
get on his knees and
so
pray and open his mouth.
Mr. P, why you listen to these people? Why you putting up with them so long? Why?
Well, because I want people to hear them.
What do you mean? But you hear them every day.
No.
There's a bunch of mascots.
No. That gentleman I never heard from before.
Oh, God have mercy.
As far as I can remember.
All you need to do is pray. Then we don't need a brain if all we need to do is pray.
That is so.
You see, these people come and they talk about this and that. You know, all they come on the program to do is to promote them place. Where them come from? Whaler land?
Yes, well, I don't know.
Promote the thing, man. You must encourage these people on the program, man. You understand?
All right, so. Good. Thank you very much. All the best to you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
I'm glad to have you. I have been listening to your program from a long time now.
Yes.
I just feel to come and say something this time. Mr. Perkins, I've been listening to the gentleman before this one, and I really have to endorse him in what he had been saying to you. I know that a lot of people does not like to hear when Christians sometimes speak out. But I'm just encouraging you, sir. I love you and I like your program. And you're doing a very good job. But in one part of the Bible that said, in 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14, if my people which are called by my name would humble themselves, We cannot differ from God's word because God has placed us here as human beings, and He has placed us here.
Yes, sir. I'm not arguing about humility.
Yes, but I'm saying that there's a part in the Bible that said, if my people, which are called by my name, would humble ourselves. And that doesn't mean that we get up and just pray for things to come to us as how other people would think about it. But I know I have proven the Lord to be a good God, and He always been a good God. And I know that He put all of us here, and it is open for us to worship Him. Who does not want to worship Him? But Mr. Perkins, I really like your program, and I'm encouraging you, sir, as you listen to that gentleman before this.
All right, sir.
Gentleman.
Thank you very much.
You.
All the best to you. Okay, we've been having some requests for the statement made by Mr. Amos to be replayed. We're going to do so for you now.
Former head of the St. Andrews South Police Division, Superintendent Newton Amos, is lamenting the abandoning of some of the basic common principles by members of the force. He says while people need to recognize that police officers are just ordinary citizens dressed up in uniforms, police officers must begin to deal with the issue not just in action, but also in speech.
The fact of the matter is that we as law enforcement officers who have to lead the communities must be careful of our words. Police officers are being convicted in court not because they shoot somebody, not because they kill somebody, but because of what they say. One is saying this and the other is saying that, contradicting each other. It is words.
He says while many within the force are divided over different issues, his team at St. Andrews South was a united one, resulting in significant crime reduction. The superintendent urged the officers in the division to continue to be resolute in their fight against criminals.
The police force must put a team together that will go out there with such resoluteness that all those that are involved, and even those that are not involved but are suspected to be involved, must understand that their days are numbered. Their days are numbered under the law.
When Superintendent Amos says that policemen are convicted, not because they kill somebody, but because of what they say, the stories that they tell, one saying this and the other saying that, right? And what they must do is say the same thing, agree on what to say. Now, if they can say the same thing and still be convicted, right? Because if the description that they give amounts to murder, then they're going to be convicted, right? And so what he obviously must mean is that they must come together, agree on what to say, which will be enough to, which will tend to exonerate them and to defeat the charges that have been brought against them. Okay? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes, good afternoon.
I'm one of those people. I'm a Christian. And I have my views on...
You're one of what?
Well, I suppose what the man referred to as those people who waste your time.
What?
Waste your time. As a Christian.
Yes.
In listening to you, I'm reminded of something that happened to me some years ago in traffic court. I was speeding along that stretch of Spanish Stone Road out by Burjo. And when the judge asked me whether or not I was guilty, I said guilty with explanation. I said to her, I don't believe that right out there should be 30 miles per hour because it's not really a built-up area. There's no pedestrian movement, anything at all. And she said to me, you're a young lady, this could have been a coroner's inquest. And she charged me a severe fine for my statement. And one of the things I learned from that experience is not what I think in some instances is irrelevant. Fact is what really matters. Now, the fact that it was a 30 mile per hour zone, I had no right to break the law.
Yes.
I'm a new Christian, and for many years I believed many roads would lead to God. And I struggled with that for many, many years. I believe if you're a Hindu, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Buddhist, you're a Rasta man, all roads lead to God. But I think one of the things that happens is that when you meet God for yourself, you put down that kind of, the intellect to a certain extent has to die.
The intellect has to die?
Yes.
Oh.
And I know that sounds odd for somebody like myself.
It does sound very odd.
It sounds like something an idiot would say. But the truth is the Bible actually says that we are a peculiar people. You know, and we rely very heavily on faith. And it does not mean that we don't think. And it does not mean that we don't plan. And it does not mean that we do not assess our situations. But ultimately, after we have done all of that, we said, okay, Lord, this is where I think I would like to go. Where would you want me to go? And he directs you. So my concern is with this thing with, what's his name, Prophet Finn. I have my concerns about it. I'm not going to say he didn't hear from the Lord, because I know the Lord still speaks. I do have a problem, however, with the voice of the prophet in Jamaica not necessarily being the conscience of the Lord. To say to a leader, if you have done something wrong, I think this is a stench in God's nostrils.
I see.
You understand?
All right, Mom. Thank you very much. Do we have time for another? Hello? That's it? Okay. Well, that brings us then to the end of Perkins on 9 for today. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow, usual time and place, and we look forward to your company. So long.